Speaker Dr. Humaira Manzoor, very amazing students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm going to share a few things with you that I experienced in our culture and continue to experience in our culture. And then some of the things that I experienced when I went abroad for the first time and how I was shocked to see certain things. When it comes to human rights or women's rights, we usually have a day or two, or sometimes even a week or 2 weeks in a year to talk about these things. And like people come and they give talks and we clap. And the moment we are done with that activity, human rights, women's rights are out of mind. I wish that things were as rosy as some of the speakers presented. I personally think that so long as we do not acknowledge or accept our wrongs, we will not be able to fix them. Is there gender discrimination in our society? I believe, not think, I believe there is. Do we treat all humans in our society equally? No, we don't. Do we give people the rights that the Constitution, the traditions, the belief system that we follow, do we give those people those rights? Most of the times the answer is no, we don't. So if I, recite a few couplets in Urdu, Urdu और शायर जितनी भी हैं सब लोगों ने खूब कहा है. कोई ऐसा, मैं एक ऐसे शायर की तलाश में हूँ जिसने खूब ना कहा हो. क्या किसी शायर ने क्या खूब कहा. So we recite a few couplets by a Pashto poet or an Urdu poet or sometimes even English, and then we give examples from God knows when. So gosh, इस तरह होता जिस तरह आप लोगों ने कहा, तो ऐसे ना होता हमारा मुआशरा जिस तरह है. And at least in universities we should be able to, if not tell the whole truth, tell something which is in the neighborhood of truth. Discrimination hai. Kyun hai? Perhaps it's not the time to go into details about that. For me, as a man, my role model is my daughter. Usually role models umar mein bade hote hain. Mera role model mujhse umar mein chota hai. वो मेरी बेटी है. Because one day she said that when she was walking from the department to the house, there was somebody who made a comment about the kind of clothes that she was wearing, and she stopped and she turned around and said, "Chasadi hue?" And she very proudly told me in the evening when she returned. I gave her a big hug. Cheratani vivele no achikame pese me workade abama pajib ke patashe no agamina morka. She's like, good. Next time somebody says something like that, stand up for yourself. Because the space that you give will be occupied. I believe you, I trust you, we have raised you the way we thought we should raise our daughter, the way we should raise our son, and I don't give a damn what people say. Che malur cha sadita jawab kaise khabara khadala. And why I did that was because I have always believed, and it is a firm faith that I have. Iman hai samada. Will I be alive tomorrow? I don't know. Tasu ke zana khalqata ki dishi patai. Mata pata nishta. So instead of moving around with my daughter and wife as their guardian, Chizabe Bachkom, I would rather educate them. I would rather talk to them. I would rather discuss with them things which they can take care of even when I'm not there. So she is my role model. My daughter is my role model. Because when we go to the village, and we go very often, right from the beginning, because somehow, I don't know, I have not been able to cut my umbilical cord from my village. Num mila prekade ne dekhal. Zana khalak khiyu ya patanishta badiu che lag was mere sino awal karda kom che kali na takhtam. Kale ma takhpal kale che kam z paida am kam mor plar ni kada ghi ni kuna paida shida ma ta kam khari. Da khabar da ka bada ma ta patanishta. Khuzakh pal kali bane fakhar kom skalu bapke nishta, but I still go. Because that's where I belong. So when we go to the village, and my daughter tells me that when she's going to visit, or my wife too, that they're going to visit Planke Troria, Planke Mama, Vagara, Vagara, Vagara. And she wears a shuttlecock burqa in the village. Or Zakachakili Gidare Vajasturde. Ho Kali Nabaharia Chartamungajwanku Agaltake. Not that I told her Chatav Sacha Vestanacha. She doesn't observe a traditional parda. She doesn't. My wife doesn't either. My mother never did. Why? Because I learned this from my grandfather. I learned this from my father. That I can have my kids wear this or that, and they will when I'm around. What will they do when I'm not around? So I would rather focus on things which gives them the authority, which gives them the freedom, which gives them the strength, which gives them the voice that they can do things on their own. So my daughter is my role model. And I wish that I were as good a human as she is. Because when I was her age, like most men in our society, I also was one of the many. But over a period of time, as I continued to learn, I still am learning, and acquire education, I learned how perhaps there were certain things that perhaps I should regret having done, and that I should avoid doing in future. Because I personally think that if my education does not change me, I have not acquired education. कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिनका तालीम कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ती. शायद मैं भी उन्हीं लोगों में से हूँ. लेकिन when I compare my past to my present, not in terms of what I achieved, what I didn't achieve, no. I usually think in terms of how things that previously I did and which now I condemn or perhaps believe that they're wrong, do I feel bad about doing those things? If yes, do I still do them? If yes, मेरी तालीम ने मेरा कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ा. तो I don't think I should say कि हमारे मुआशरे में discrimination नहीं है. कौन करते हैं? हम करते हैं. क्यों करते हैं? Variety of reasons. कहीं जमीन प्यारी है, कहीं मर्द होना प्यारा है, कहीं बाप होना प्यारा है, कहीं बेटा होना प्यारा है, कहीं भाई होना प्यारा है. एक चीज जो होना प्यारा नहीं है वो इंसान होना है. And that is one thing which perhaps prevents us from accepting all humans as the same. ये बहाने हैं कि इधर ये कहा गया, वहां ये कहा गया, वहां ये कहा गया. वो जो कुछ है वो है. लेकिन in my day-to-day life, how do I treat my sister, my daughter, my wife, my mother? We respect them. पुख्तनो प मुआशरे के द रिश्तो इज्जती द खजो इज्जत नहीं. And we should accept that, because only after we have accepted our wrong that we can correct it. कोई मतलब हम एक ऐसे मुआशरे का हिस्सा है जहां पे हम सब कुछ छुपाना चाहते हैं. सर दर्द से पट रहा होगा, तबीयत कैसी? जबरदस्त. सर में दर्द नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं है. यू नो, अगर खुश हैं तो तबीयत कैसी है? सच में पतन फिरेगी कम योतन तब पता डेर. यू नो, इट्स लाइक we just somehow, if you're happy, we pretend to be unhappy. If you're unhappy, we pretend to be happy. पता नहीं क्यों हम ऐसा करते हैं. मेहमान आ जाते हैं चाय बस के नजी उस मुश्किल है पर उन बेस के लिए रीजन नहीं यो खपुस के नहीं जी उस उस्ताद है या खुले के मिलाखवन स्टे. And then you ask them again, खैर दे उसके तास दोनों जोर का है उस बे उसको. No, मतलब the tea that I make for them, आगे एहसान पमा बांधे कहीं चेहरा. Why are we like that? No, serious. Think about that. And perhaps that is what has led to this denial in which most of the times we are. We don't accept our wrongs. कौन गलत है? आप लोग सारे गलत हैं. ठीक कौन है? मैं. I mean, इतनी नरगिसियत, मनफी नरगिसियत. तो क्या ये होना चाहिए? आई डोंट नो. क्या नहीं होना चाहिए ये आप लोगों ने फैसला करना है. क्या होना चाहिए ये भी आपने फैसला करना है. I know what I have to do, which is why, you know, I don't feel bad about my wife sitting in the front seat next to me. आप जो शादीशुदा हैं, क्या आपकी वाइफ आपके साथ फ्रंट सीट में बैठती है? बैठनी चाहिए, नहीं बैठनी चाहिए, वो आपका काम है. मेरी वाइफ बैठेगी तो फ्रंट सीट में बैठेगी मेरे साथ. Even when all four of us are traveling, myself, my wife, my son and my daughter, हम दो बच्चे हैं, हमारे दो बच्चे हैं. No, my son has to sit in the back. My wife sits in the front. एक छोटी सी बात है लेकिन इसकी अलामती अहमियत बहुत ज्यादा है. Because I'm telling my son, she sits there because she is my wife, and not just because she is his mother. That comes much later. But that, because पहले तो wife होती है फिर बच्चे आते हैं. तो but that she is my equal, that she is as good a human as I am. तो कहने का मतलब यह है कि वर्क प्लेस की हम जब बात करते हैं वो तो लकीली अभी कुछ साल हुए हैं पाकिस्तान में शुरू हुआ है ये रिवाज. उम्मीद है कि ये चलता रहेगा, खत्म नहीं होगा. लेकिन मैं उससे भी एक स्टेप पीछे जाता हूं कि क्या मैं घर में एज अ सन मैं अपनी मां के साथ किस तरह बात करता हूं. I've seen some sons talk to their mother in a manner where I just wish that they would shut up. क्योंकि एक लड़का है और मां से इसलिए इस तरह बात कर रहा है कि वो लड़का है और वो औरत है. I'm sure you have seen, I have seen. या तो मेरी बदकिस्मती ये सारे गलत काम मैं देखता रहा हूं, आप इतने खुशकिस्मत हैं कि कोई गलत काम नहीं देखा है. उम्र में छोटा भाई बड़ी बहन को ऐसी ऐसी क्या क्या कहता है, क्या करता है. I don't have to go into details about that. फर्क क्या है? और यही मुआशरा इस पे फख्र करता है कि बड़ों की इज्जत करो. तो if I have an elder sister, why do I talk to her in such a disrespectful manner? Simply because I'm a boy and she's not? दिल पे सोचना है। एक बात जो मैं शेयर करना चाहता हूं। अब मसलन हम अमूमन अपने मुआशरे से दूर और मुआशरों की बातें करते हैं, वो फिजिकली हमसे दूर होते हैं या क्रोनोलॉजिकली इन टर्म्स ऑफ टाइम हमसे दूर होते हैं। 25,000 साल पहले इस तरह होता था, 25,000 साल को छोड़ो अब क्या हो रहा है, 25,000 मील उधर क्या हो रहा है वो भी छोड़ो, मेरे चम गवर्न में क्या हो रहा है। Let's look around. Let's not look away. मैं देख उनके कपड़ों कर रहा हूं, तारीफ अपने कपड़ों की कर रहा हूं, ये कैसे हो सकता है? So I need to look at me. I need to look at things that I have around me. But since that's the tradition, that's the custom, that's the practice, so I'm going to share with you a few things. हमारे मुआशरे में बहुत सारी गलतियां होंगी। हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम आपने सुना होगा, सुना है ना? उसकी पहली खातून प्रेसिडेंट परसों का मतलब ये नहीं, डे बिफोर यस्टरडे, 2007 या 8 में बनी, शायद मैं तारीख या ईयर गलत कर रहा हूं। प्रोफेसर ड्रू गिलपिन फाउस्ट of history. She's a professor of history. और लॉरेंस समर्स जो यूएस का जैसे हमारा वफाकी वजीर खजाना होता है, इस तरह लॉरेंस समर्स बिल क्लिंटन के प्रेसिडेंसी में वो वफाकी वजीर खजाना था। उसके बाद ड्रू गिलपिन फाउस्ट FAUST, अगर आप गूगल करें तो आपको मिल जाएगा। 11 साल वो प्रेसिडेंट रही और उसकी प्रेसिडेंसी के दौरान हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में वाइस चांसलर होते हैं, वहां पे यूनिवर्सिटीज में प्रेसिडेंट्स होते हैं। और हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी की तारीख 2000 नहीं 250 साल के करीब है। तो 250 साल में उस यूनिवर्सिटी में पहली खातून तकरीबन परसों बनी। 2018 में उनका टर्म खत्म हुआ, 11 साल वो रही। 2007 में 2007 बनेगा ना, हाँ 2007 में। So 2007 she became the president. For 11 years she is the president of Harvard University. बहुत बड़ी बात है, बहुत बड़ी बात है एक ऐसे मुआशरे के लिए जिसका नाम अमूमन सब लोग इस गरज से लेते हैं कि they are a standard in a way। एक यूएस की और मिसाल देता हूं। When I went abroad for higher studies, the incident that shocked me कि ये जो बड़ी बस नहीं होती है जो 52 सीटर है, आई थिंक हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी के भी क्लासेस भी शुरू नहीं हुई थी, ओरिएंटेशन चल रही थी। वो उन लोगों के नखरे बड़े होते हैं, हम तो आसान होता है ना, आज दाखला कल क्लास में, और स्टूडेंट को पता भी होना चाहिए कि उसकी क्लास किधर है, और अगर उसको पता नहीं है तो एक लात भी मारो। वो ओरिएंटेशन करते हैं कि जी बैंक इधर है, क्लासरूम उधर है, तो डिपार्टमेंट फलाना उधर है, लाइब्रेरी उधर है, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह। हम साइंस भी नहीं लगाते हैं और ओरिएंटेशन भी नहीं करते हैं। ये हमारे पाकिस्तान का एक कल्चर है। तो यू नो, सो तीसरा दिन था या चौथा दिन था, एंड वी आर डन विद द डे लॉन्ग ओरिएंटेशन, और थके हुए थे। आई एंड देयर वाज अनदर पर्सन, वी वर वॉकिंग टू द बाजार। No, there was a bus stop next to a bank. So I saw a girl who was almost the same age as my youngest sister, who at that time was a student of 3rd year or 4th year. और वो 52 सीटर बस को वो मेरे बहन के उम्र की एक छोटी लड़की चला रही थी। I literally, when I saw, it's like, अब बंदा वो निद्रेगी ने फला रखे, यस चिता से चल रहे, मतलब खजा और बस में चली ददी मखरुक्षा, यू नो दैट काइंड। सो सीरियस कोर के ना पा रहा, यू नो दैट काइंड। सो आई वाज and I'm trying to, you know, figure out the steering bus څنګه تاوي ځکه بسونه والا خو ډېر ولکه ما ته خو هغه وخت پته نه وه چې دا خو پاور ټرانسمیشن دی او دغه دی پاور سټیرنګ دی او اټومیټک ټرانسمیشن وغیره وغیره وغیره. But there was a young girl. And then there were many more that I encountered and I saw. And then when I moved out, जो 10 दिन या 11 दिन ओरिएंटेशन था, जब वो ख़त्म हुआ और उस फ्लैट में चला गया जहाँ मैं रहता था, तो दूसरा शॉक जो मिल रहा है, अब एक वो खातून है, तो उसके वेस्ट के अराउंड एक बेल्ट है, हर वो औजार, every tool that a blacksmith, a plumber or an electrician uses, वो उससे लटक रहा है. हथौड़ा है, पिचकस है, प्लास है, बाकी के नाम मुझे नहीं थे, सब कुछ लटक रहा है. And when she walks, शड़ंग शड़ंगम कई मुंह बाजार पे आवाज करे दा शड़ंगा बंद कर सके टिकना दा का ना गुनाई की. So I go to that, you know, place or come da गदे लेटर दे ची माता दा फ्लैट अलॉट शवे दे दास्ते और हर दरवाजे बंद लिखले ची सीधी apartment manager, apartment complex manager सोखते माँ खो मागा ज़नाने ली दलेवा लुपाटेम नवा चुले नो मतलब तपोस में वो कचारत हुचागा दे ज़ोर अगलामा it was was that by मुंग बिजली ठीक कही खज़ा कना you know दाबा अगर बच्ची की अबम दा ठीक कही दाबम कही. And now, not only that, ज़ख़ो मतलब तास खो ब्याम खे देर advanced वक्त के जवान थे रहा है. ज़ख़ो दा डिस्ट्रिक्ट करक के दासे इलाके ने मिसाल तस्कलू बम निश्ता उसम निश्ता 21st century के बावजूद दे च जोड़ पाकिस्तान हम वक्त तेर शनिवी पाकिस्तान में लस्कलू बनिश्ता. So for me it was very very shocking. चेहरा लगा हाँ ज़ सड़े मतलब द पिचकस रहा कवले निशम कवले you know कचलनम राजी we pretend to fix the thing. So what I'm saying is if we think चेहरा मुंग मुआशरे के मसले डेरी दी नोरो चरता निश्ता no US के as I said Harvard University के उड़म्बे women president was a few years back. So why couldn't they have it? In fact MIT का रिकॉर्ड हो गया अगर हम गालिबन या हो if I remember correctly उससे परे they haven't had a woman president. The university from which I graduated अगर खोरा था पता था they've never had a woman president. So when it comes to workplaces, when it comes to giving positions of power, when it comes to giving important policy making statuses to women, almost every country has problems. Should they do those things? No. Do they do those things? Yes. Do we want all this to stop? Yes. Can we help? Absolutely. How do we help? Do we stop others? No. You can start at home. You can start at home. And I should ask myself this question and ask my parents. Emani kabawa khpal lunota pazmako ke hissa warkade. ز خپل لورتا یا خپل خورتا زمکو کې سوار کولو ته تیارم. دا نور خبره ډېرې غټې دي. او زبم درته یو څو احادیث ووایم، آیتونه به هم درته ووایم. اطلب العلم فریدة علی کل مسلم و مسلمة. دا صحیح حدیث دی. صحاح سته کې کوټ شوی دی. یهود هنود براغله من جناکو سکولونه به بمونو کې والو زوال څوک به وغه. Did it not happen here? دا صحیح دی. حکم دی درته اطلب العلم فریدة علی کل مسلم و مسلمة. څوک ډزي مونږ چې په یونیورسيټي کې فیمیل سټوډنټ تا یا فیمیل ټیچر تا لایف ګرانو زه خو دونه په غنه پیګم pagabande ki sobande khoy mahpal da khayal de jo khas hat pore. I also show less respect to some of these principles of our belief system. So agai khalaq ch sakai ch mung lari di 25,000 kilometer lari di 50,000 kilometer lari di 25,000 kala lari di 50,000 kala lari di. Fine, zo ta sakau or sakolo ta tayar you. Are we willing to change, or is life going to go the way it has been going? If we say it's like fine, to the wasat tera shawda the bakibam terashi. Yeah. Parun pain lago nan zyates ratlun ki sabak hava dena hum zyat pain way. Wale, because life brings more and more challenges. What was a luxury yesterday is a need today. And what is a luxury today is bound to be a need tomorrow. So 112 million women in Pakistan, that's 49% of the total population. Look at it this way. Do you want to say no to them and not make them part of the life that we have around us? We like it or we don't. They're there. They're there. So I don't have any nasihat for fazul shevi. Khabare wale, ukhyar te zarurat nahi, bewkuf pe amal na ki. So I have requests that I make. And think about them. Do you want your life to continue the way it is? Or do you want it to be better? Whatever you want, make your decisions. Make your choices and stick to them. Sida Sawai Convention on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. Kor kiche za khor me school tazi ya college tazi university tazi za pe khafam ka pe khoshala. Simple, dona khabara da mara kanun sahi chi chauke jodi yal tabe jodi. Am I happy when she goes? Do I facilitate her or do I prevent her? If I prevent her, there will be discrimination, there will be workplace harassment, there will be all kind of harassment. Should it continue? I don't know. Should it stop? You choose. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.